So I heard a vicious rumor, huh? I hear a vicious rumor that Jaws is getting a new puppet. What the hell is this? And it's supposed to be for Alex Lyon, huh? But it's not going to be a lion. It's going to be a goat. Because they're saying Alex Lyon is the GOAT. Let me tell you something. Listen close. I am the star of the show. I am the only number one puppet. Those guys over there, they're my assistants. I am the star of the show. If I see a goat puppet show up over there, anywhere, I'm going to peck him in the pecker until he ends up on a can of Bud Light. You ready? Here we go. It did it. I don't believe it.
Let's go Panthers. Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Hot drop. And 3, 2, 1.
Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go Panthers! Let's go! Go!
Alright, Panther fans, here we go. 4 left. Big one tonight. Now, we can't clinch tonight, but a lot of teams playing that will play into whether or not we have a possibility of clinching a playoff spot on Saturday. Unbelievable. I mean, you never know what's going to happen, right? But a week ago it was over. A week ago we were in the same position we're in tonight with controlling the 7th seed. Let's just keep on rolling. Bob is still sick. I talked about this a little bit on the podcast today. For those of you who are wondering what podcast, I have a members only and Patreon supporters exclusive podcast that I do Monday through Friday. Links are in the description. Memberships start at $3 a month. I talked about this. Bob is now supposedly, and I say supposedly because he's now been sick for 9 straight days with a non-COVID illness. Now, I'm not saying they're making it up. I'm not saying he's not sick. But what the hell is going on in that locker room? Bob got sick. Excuse me. Barkov got sick, got better, came back, got sick again. Duke, sick, came back, sick again. Spencer Knight was illness/injury and never came back. And now we've got Bob out, the most important stretch of the year. He can get out there on the skates, but he's still not feeling. What the hell is going on in that locker room? There's some weird shit going on here, okay? You know me, I got a conspiratorial mind, that's fine. Something don't smell right, this whole situation. But Alex Lyon, the GOAT, temporarily at least, he's getting in another start. And they asked Maurice about, hey, so, you know, when are you going to put Bob back in? Like, what's going to be happening in the playoffs? They kind of broached that subject, and basically Maurice shot him the finger and said, I ain't even thinking about that right now, which is fine. But at some point, we will get to the point of no return to where if Bob doesn't play, he can't be the game 1 starter. Wouldn't that just be something? Now, another interesting tidbit is Sam Bennett is still not on the ice, and they already know, or, you know, he's not in the game. They know he's not going to be in tonight or Saturday, so it's really kind of looking like game 1, they're going to put Sam Bennett out there in the playoffs, and hopefully he can last as long as he can last. Now, there's another way that they could possibly work that with maybe see if you can win the first round without Sam Bennett. I'm not exactly advocating for that, but it's a grind. If when you get into the playoffs, if the goal is to win the cup, you might want to give Sam Bennett a little bit more time to heal because he had already healed it up. He already came back too soon is what Maurice said. He had already came back before it was completely healed. He dinged it again, so now they're leaving him out until it's fully healed. So if you want to win a cup, you're going to need Sam Bennett for as long as you possibly can. If you bring him back game 1 a little bit too soon again, and he helps you win round 1, but then he dings his pecker again, you see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't look for him to be on the ice anytime soon. It's Barkov, Lundell, Luosterainen, and Stahl. That's not how we've been doing it, though, because Luosterainen's been up. I don't know anymore. They moved the lane lines around so many times. The point is that Lundell, Luosterainen, Stahl, Lomberg, they're all going to have to combine to replace Bennett. They've been doing a halfway decent job so far. As long as Tkachuk is still getting points and goals multiple times during the game, the loss of Bennett is mitigated. Now we just need Anton Lundell to play a little bit smarter there with the game on the line when the power play. You see what I'm saying? I love you, Anton. Don't get me wrong, but it's tough love. Just ask Ekblad. All right. I don't have the cojones to predict another 2-1 victory, so I'm going to say 3-1 Panthers. Let's get to. All right, so 2-0 Panthers after 1. Now, I am not allowed during the game on the recaps to praise the goaltender. But let's just say, like somebody said at the end there on the stream, don't worry, Bob. You take your time. Heal up. Rest up. Maybe take a vacation. We're good. We're good right now. All right? And the other thing I love to have seen is power play Alexander Barkov. Now, for those of you who don't watch the streams, when we have the power play, I'm screaming at him to please shoot the puck, even just 1 out of 10 times. Because, as I've said multiple times, he never shoots. So the defense cheats and gets in the way of the guys he's trying to pass to because they know Barkov's never going to shoot. So if he does that, even just once a game, where they don't know if he's going to shoot or pass, the defense can't cheat. And boom, what a bullet of a shot. It's 2-0 Panthers. Ottawa really, really came out hard and fast. Like they thought they really had a chance to make the playoffs. We're being outshot 17-9. The second half of the period was a little bit better. That said, the stupid stick penalties. A high stick, Giovanni Smith, and then Carter Verhaeghe with a slash. Why? What is it about Maurice's system that makes us the worst team in the NHL in terms of penalties? I think we're the worst. I know we've got the most stick infractions. What the hell? I don't understand it. I mean, that's one thing during the playoffs. We've got to cut that shit out. That can't continue to happen because you give Boston, Tampa, Rangers, Canes, you give those teams multiple power plays a day, a game on stupid things like that where it's not even really they had to work hard for it, just a stupid, that's, you can't win like that. That's one thing they've got to get cleaned up. Let's finish this off. Get to. Don't praise the goalie. Don't praise the goalie. Don't praise the goalie. Don't praise the goalie. Don't praise the goalie, Jaws. It's 7. It's 7-1 after 2. We've got a Barkov hat trick watch. There were a half dozen fights. Mark Stahl fought Brady Tkachuk, and we got a 1-for-1 ejection. Hey, hire Keith Tkachuk as the coach. Or an assistant coach. How about that? Hey, if you want to keep Maurice, all right, so you know Zito's not going to fire Maurice, fine. How about Keith Tkachuk as assistant coach? Huh? I like that idea. I think that's a really good idea. If anybody steals that idea, you give me credit. That's my idea. Keith Tkachuk, assistant coach. Holy crap. What if, I mean, we're soaked in sweat here. I mean, that was just the most ridiculous, obscene. I haven't seen Panther hockey like that since the Lightning series 2 years ago. Not last year, but the year before. Unbelievable. And then they had the audacity, they had the nerve, the unmitigated gall to call 2 penalties on the Panthers at the exact same time. They get Cousins for, I think, holding or tripping, some stupid shit, And then they put Ekblad in the box, 2 minutes for roughing. We killed off 2 minutes of 5-on-3. Gudas hits Cousins coming out of the box, and he puts his 5-hole, and it's 6-1. I love it. Now, not to put a damper on everybody's parade, but right now I think it's 3-0 Islanders. I think it's 3-0. So the Islanders in Pittsburgh are winning their games tonight. But they're chasing us, ladies and gentlemen. They're chasing us. And after tonight, we have 3 games left. Now, I did bring up one thing that did not get met with any approval, but I'll bring it up here. I said, you know, after Alex Lyon made save number 40, that massive glove save that he made, I said, you know, it's 6-1, it's 7-1. He's already made 40 saves tonight. We need this guy. This is our guy. We need him to be. So I put out the idea, since it was 7-1, maybe let Matt Gusta come out and finish the game off and play the third period. He gets a little bit of experience because it's not, you know, he's not going to blow the game, and he's never been in the NHL. You would kind of want him to be on the ice at some point, right? Reward him for coming up and getting, and that gives Alex Lyon, all right, kid, you did your job, go get a massage. You know, nobody kind of liked that idea, so I guess, but I guess we'll find out. If I was coach, I don't know, I would have asked around too and probably gotten told no. So, but anyway, all right, let's finish this off. Long ass game, 7-1. Let's move on to third period. All right, let's do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 2 points. Oh, and see, now you're probably thinking the Panthers won 7-2. Ekblad had 4 points. There's no way this guy could have a complaint about Aaron Ekblad. But you would be wrong, because Alex Lyon made 56 saves. He needed 57 to tie the most saves ever by a Florida Panthers goaltender. And with about 30 seconds left, somebody on the Ottawa Senators entered the zone, and Ekblad had to go and make a really nice defensive play to stop the player from getting a shot that would have been Alex Lyon's 57th save of the night. So there you go. I can find a way to complain about anything at any point in time. Never underestimate that ability. All right. I'm kidding. Okay, for crying out loud. So, nothing happened at all tonight. Nothing happened at all. Just instead of 4 games left, we have 3 games left. Everything still stays the same because everybody won, including Buffalo winning in the shootout. Tampa did us no favors. They're resting players. They clearly didn't show up. The Wild surprised a lot of us and beat Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh beat the Wild. A lot of us kind of thought, you know, the Wild would show up for that game because they were fighting for first place. I don't think they're fighting for first place any longer after that showing. So basically, we're tied with the Isles, but we have the tiebreaker, and we are 1 point ahead of the Penguins. If we win our last 3 games, we're the 7th seed. Okay? That's all we need to know. So, we got Washington on Saturday. This one was just what we needed in terms of we got out healthy. Okay, it was a little bit of a worry there with Eric Stahl getting pounded into the net during one of the scrums. Fight after fight after fight after fight. I mean, even Goldie and Randy were by halfway through the third period just like, can we just end this game already? I mean, it was 10:04. The game was still going on. It started at 7 o'clock. There have been games that started at 7 o'clock that the recap was done and uploaded by 10 o'clock. This was obscenely long, and they just started ejecting everybody. Everybody. Both Kachuk's got ejected, Mahura got ejected, I think for laughing. Pretty sure I think that's what he got. It's Ottawa's coach got ejected. It just was, the referees lost control of that game early on. And, you know, I always say, what is the deal in terms of the referees? What decides when they're going to let people fight and when they're going to let them go? Because these refs tonight, they decided a couple of times to let guys go, but then they got into the middle of a couple of fights that looked like they could have ended up hurting players, because the players are really, really going at it, and they're getting in there and they're yanking arms and they're pulling guys off. And Giovanni Smith, the one fight he had, they were doing around like merry-go-round, and he looked like he was losing his balance a little bit, but then the ref came in and tried to get in between him, and he went down awkward on his knee. He was okay, but, man, just let him go. Let him fight, call the penalties, and move on. I never understand why the refs jump in between to the point where they're desperately trying to separate the two players. People gonna get hurt that way, you know what I mean? All right. This one's going to be short and sweet because I'm exhausted. That second period, just like that explosion of energy, hopefully the team still has some energy left. Now, the good news is Alex Lyon made 56 saves. We did allow 58 shots on goal tonight. Okay. Somebody asked in the stream if that's a concern. I don't know. I mean, Ottawa was really gunning for us. Their entire season was on the line, and we won 7-2. And like I said after the last game, I don't care how it looks, as long as we get 2 points, that's all that matters. There's no style points this time of year, you know what I mean? And there's nothing long-term that's going to get fixed at this point. This team is what it is, and however far we're going to go, this is how we're going to play. Now, in terms of Alex Lyon, I know I made the little comment about Guzda coming in. My only concern is, what's this? 5 straight. We've won 5 straight. He's played 5 straight. That's a lot of saves that he had to make tonight. That was a heavy workload for him. It's Thursday night. Now he's got to play again Saturday, right? Okay. The third period workload wasn't that much, but you know, Bob or no Bob or Goose or whatever. I mean, I guess it's good that after the season is over, we will have at least, let's see, last game's 13th, playoffs start the 17th, so we have 15, 16, 17 off at least. That'd be 3 days. Best case scenario, we clinch before the Canes game, and if we can clinch the 7th seed before that last game, maybe then you give Guzda a start to give Alex Lyon a little bit more rest. And I know we have this $10 million goalie whose name is Bob, but unless he can play Saturday, and this is the only way I think Bob actually gets back in here, which is if it gets to the point where, okay, Bob is healthy enough on Saturday and Lyon just had a 56 shot, 56 save performance, he might be tired. Okay, at some point you got to rest your goalie, right? So if Bob comes back Saturday, plays well, okay, and we win, then you're probably going to see him again in Toronto. And then we'll have to see what happens against the Canes. But I wouldn't want to be Maurice trying to make this decision. I mean, Alex Lyon is playing ridiculous. He's playing at a completely unsustainable level. Now, we all know that. And I don't just mean for him. I mean for any goaltender. He's got like a 965, 970 save percentage in these 5 games. That's not as sustainable, okay? You get guys that can knock out a 930, maybe even a 940, but nobody's carrying 965 through the playoffs, okay? I don't even think any, you know, Patrick Waugh, Mulder, I'd have to look, but I don't even think those guys ever carried anything that high. So at some point, he will come back down to earth. What we don't know, now that's not a knock, hear me out. What I'm saying, we don't know what earth is for him because he's never had this length of an opportunity. He's never been given this kind of a chance. So coming back down to earth for him might still be 920. You see what I'm saying? So I'm hopeful that Bob can play Saturday. Even if you're going to say Bob's going to play Saturday and then Lyon is your guy in the playoffs, you got to get Bob on the ice. You got to get somebody on the ice as the backup goaltender that's played. Gusta hasn't even played an NHL game, and Bob hasn't played in a little while. So you've got to get somebody else at least in the net for a game, while at the same time we have to win these games. Nobody else lost, right? And isn't it just crazy? It's just crazy how we were worried that we were going to wear Bob out, and we kind of did, and he got sick. And now, maybe I'm the only one, but, you know, 56 saves is a big workload, okay? That's all I'm going to say, right? If this was a normal situation with your normal starter, normal backup, there would be no question that after tonight, the other guy is going to be in net Saturday, okay? So, but I don't think we're going to throw Matt Guzda out there in his first NHL start either. Unbelievable, man. Between Zito and Maurice this year, it's been a tough. They have some tough decisions all year long. So, all right. Stu was at the game tonight, so I'm sure he had a blast. Hopefully he said he was going to leave a little bit earlier, so hopefully he did, because obviously we got our 7 and then took the gas off. So we got Saturday, then we got Monday, and then we got Thursday. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. You win all 3. If you win all 3, we are the 7th seed, most likely playing the Carolina Hurricanes in the first round. All right? I think Randy said if we go 2-0-1, regardless of what anybody else does, we clinch at least the 8th seed. So we do not have to win all 3 games in regulation to clinch. All right? The important thing is getting in. 7, 8, I know it makes a difference, but get these 2 points Saturday against Washington and then see where we are. Because we got to figure out Bob, we got to figure out Bennett, okay? And at least the one good thing that we do know now, right? Last thing I'll say, when Knight went out, we're like, oh, we need a backup goaltender for the playoffs if we make the playoffs, right? The assumption was we were going to ride Bob the rest of the way, and is Lyon, can he be the backup? But now we know. Worst case scenario, best case scenario, I don't even know anymore. If Bob is the playoff starter, we damn sure know that Alex Lyon is backup material. At least now, I mean, if I'm looking at it from Maurice's point of view, right? If I'm looking at it from Maurice's point of view, you almost. We'll see what happens Saturday. But if Bob is not ready to go Saturday, let's put it this way. If Bob is not ready to go Saturday and you got to throw Lyon out there again, you're basically at the point where you have to say Lyon is the starter of the playoffs game 1, and then you go from there. Because you just can't throw Bob out there after you got to just know. Just know. For a myriad of reasons. So, alright. Get big 2 points. Stu and I will be back in the morning. The podcast out. In the morning I'll know if my phone works. I just wanted to go fishing. But I'll take it. 2 points.